Hello and welcome to this episode of Break Panel Sports. I'm John, joined alongside Joel. It has been, I always say it's been a minute when it really hasn't been as long as I think it has, but here we
Right.
are back with some NFL talk. It's been a while
Here
since we
we
talked about
are.
the NFL. We talked about some NBA and whatnot. Joel, first off, how we doing? But we are definitely going to get straight into it because we made a discovery today, and it's something
Yeah,
that we probably should have known.
but by the time we're recording this, there's football like tomorrow.
Yeah, we are recording this
Literally
on
tomorrow.
Wednesday at 5:30 ish, and we were just talking. We're mainly going to talk about the quarterbacks today. Where who's going to get what job, what rookies. I mean, if I don't know how much stock you take into training camp. I don't take too much stock into most training camp scenarios because do you remember Patrick Mahomes' training camp? I don't. But we'll talk about it. So we made a discovery that the Hall of Fame game is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
And this
tomorrow.
episode's it's probably going to be today when this episode's up for you. So I guess happy football day. But so the Hall of Fame game has kind of been, I don't want to call it a joke, but a game that we really don't think about on the calendar. People watch it because it's a Thursday night
It's
football game.
football. It's
It's
football.
football.
You haven't had football in months.
We will watch football. Well, don't forget about the UFL. But
NFL football.
we will.
There you
There you
go.
go. We will watch. We will watch football, no matter what it is, because we're Americans, and that's just we like hot dogs, hamburgers, and football, and other things, right? We're just
America.
America. America, yeah. Happy Fourth of July. Very late. Um, Now I have an observation. We weren't going to talk about this. I think it's ridiculous that I haven't. I go to work at a sports place that you can find out. I guess whatever. I work in a sports area. This is the field, right, Joel?
Yes.
We have many friends that are NFL fans.
Right.
I have not heard. I discovered that the Hall of Fame game was being played tomorrow at 5:30 the day before, and that's because I do a podcast.
Yeah.
If we texted all of our football buddies, "Hey, when's the Hall of Fame game? Do you know?" Would they say tomorrow?
I I made the discovery strictly because I was like, oh, I wonder when preseason starts, and
Right.
I saw something that said that said a relation to August 1st, and I was like,
Yep.
August 1st. I was like, oh, I searched this up like last week. I was like, oh, that's like next week or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's when it said Bears Texans Hall of Fame game August 1st, Thursday, and I'm like, oh, we got football in like a week.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about it.
So we were going to talk a bit about training camp as well, and I was kind of having this conversation that we'll have that I don't put too much stock into training camp. I don't personally care for it. I don't follow even with my own teams. I don't really follow the who's doing well in camp, who's performing, who's doing this, right? Because especially with the rookies, because at the end of the day, this is their first time seeing the NFL anything in the NFL.
Mm.
This is their first experience with the NFL. You say, oh, this guy's getting smoked in training camp. This guy's getting burnt in training camp. This guy's throwing picks in training camp. It doesn't matter, right? The amount of times that I've seen a report saying Baker Mayfield was bad in training camp in my lifetime, so many times. But did he lead the Buccaneers to the playoffs and won a playoff game? Absolutely. So I don't really care about that stuff. But it matters because well, they're going to play a football game tomorrow between the Texans and the Bears. Like
Mm.
they'll play football. But we haven't nobody's talked about football for whatever.
Well, I also think part of it is that maybe, Caleb's not going to play.
He's not, no.
Their best players are not going to play tomorrow. Let's just face it, they're
That's
not.
preseason in general, but we still get
Yeah.
excited for the start of the
Well, no, I
preseason
mean,
game.
I don't know. Caleb might play like one or two preseason games. Like I'm not saying the full game, like a quarter or two.
All right,
He'll
play a
be
few
out there.
drives at the end of the year. They
Yeah,
like to
yeah,
play the rookies.
yeah. He'll be out there. But like the Hall of Fame game, I don't know how to describe the Hall of Fame game because it was one of those things that I just kind of discovered that I always kind of assumed was a preseason game, and it technically is, but it also technically is not.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's kind of for just like the third and second stringers just to like go out there and go play football. It's really all it is.
Right.
But yeah, I just haven't really looked at the Hall of Fame game as like
A game?
anything to be a, a competitive one, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, also preseason, we're not really worried about the competition. Also, that's kind
I
of
don't even remember who played in the Hall of Fame game last year.
was it the
I don't even remember.
Jets? I thought it was the Jets.
I don't even sure. I don't even
Did
remember.
I pull that? Did I pull that card?
For some reason I'm thinking like the Jaguars maybe, but I'm like I don't know.
Last year's Hall of Fame game. Let's see it. The
Was it
Pro
the
Football Hall of
Browns?
Fame actually has a Hall of Fame results. Was it Jets? I thought I
Jets
had it.
Browns?
It was Jets Browns.
Oh wow, it was Brown. Okay, Browns. I knew.
Let us cook.
I don't know why I thought. I'm like, was it the Browns?
Right, because I think we thought we were going to see Rodgers, I think, and then we didn't because it's a Hall of Fame game. It's also weird now because there used to be 4 preseason games, and it was kind of exciting having a team play
Oh no, it's
five
three,
preseason
right?
games. Right, so the Bears and Texans will play the old school 4 preseason games,
Right.
but it counts. I mean, nobody cares. Preseason records don't matter unless if you're the Baltimore
No.
Ravens. So, and now that streak's broken too. Anyway, so our preseason narratives are done. So happy football.
Happy
Welcome
football.
back, I guess.
Getting
Sure.
football.
Are we back? I don't know. I don't
We're
know.
back.
So yeah, we're back. Football's here. Sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the quarterbacks, Joel. Let's start with the rookies. We talked about camp. We're talking about the Hall of Fame game. We talked about Caleb already. We know Caleb is going to be the week 1 starter. I don't think Tyson Bagent's really going to go take that job. Um, especially when you spend a number 1 overall pick. I think
Right.
that's fine.
Mhm.
So we do know. I mean, there's some probable starters. You look at Washington, Jaden Daniels. As
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned, he's starting week
Yeah.
1. Unless they
Good
want to throw
luck.
Sam Hartman out there. Best of luck to Jaden Daniels.
I'm just
Um,
saying, man. It's Washington. Good luck. That's all I could. That's all I can say.
the command Washington, their franchise as a whole could draft Tom Brady tomorrow, and we know it's
Yeah.
Tom Brady, and I still wouldn't be confident in that team
Yeah.
developing a quarterback. So Jaden Daniels, we'll see. Maybe he will outlast, and this post Snyder era will be going a little bit better. Um, best of luck to Jaden Daniels. The big ones that we really have to talk about, Joel, obviously the Broncos and the Vikings, where Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy are going to duke it out for the Minnesota job. I
That's right.
really send out my thoughts to you Minnesota fans, as I literally have my heart over my chest, my hand over my heart. Excuse me,
You
my heart.
you should be praying for Justin Jefferson. That's who you really should
I
be
really
praying.
should be. I should be thinking about him. I will think about him before I
Oh,
go to
that's
bed
so
tonight.
sad. That's
I'm
so
gonna
sad.
send him a prayer and a thought.
You thought
Um,
Kirk Cousins was bad. What? Just wait.
so, but we'll see. I mean, JJ McCarthy, he's got potential. We all know his potential. I mean, you've got guys. We're kind of on a weird end of the JJ McCarthy thought bubble because some people think that JJ McCarthy is this great prospect, and we've kind of been critical of the guy. And who knows if you follow Break Panel Sports, you know we're wrong pretty often. But I don't know if I'm wrong about this one. I don't think JJ McCarthy is going to succeed that well. He might be okay. He might be Christian Ponder for all I know. I mean, I don't think they have the start, but at the end of the day, it looks like what JJ McCarthy's probably going to start. They want to get him
I
out there, or
I
maybe
don't know.
seeing Sam Darnold. I don't know.
First of all, Christian Ponder, what a pull. But
It's my
when
guy. It's my dog. Florida State
when I look at
legend.
the Vikings job, I would think honestly kind of similar to the Patriots job because I think Jacoby Brissett is going to win that job just
Right.
for like now. I think Sam Darnold, they're at least going to give him like the first like 3-4 weeks. I'll never forget that little peak 3-week run that he had with the Panthers.
Yep. He
He
was good.
he looked you and people forget he was very good. He was a
He
very
was
good
okay.
quarterback. And then he fell off like always. But still,
Carolina.
just saying, you get your guy, you get your guy. I would love for Sam Darnold to like catch some sort of stride and figure things out. But Minnesota, I don't know, man. I like the whole conversation with JJ McCarthy. I like JJ McCarthy. I genuinely do. I look at him very similar to like our conversations that we had with Brock Purdy, where it's like, oh, he has a lot of good weapons around him. He has a lot of good this. He doesn't have to do much. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really see him messing up all that much compared to other guys. I really don't. And I believe I saw someone, I forgot who it was, but someone said like whoever, this was before the draft, obviously, whoever Minnesota gets, they're moving into a furnished apartment. You got a pretty good offensive line. You
Yep.
got the best wide receiver in all of football. You have a very good tight end, arguably top 3 tight end in all of football. You have, Jordan Addison, a rising star young wide receiver. Their defense, it's okay. Not saying it's amazing, but it's pretty good. I think you could plug in there if it is JJ McCarthy or whoever, and you think confidently in him, why not, why not make that opportunity to go get a run? You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, if JJ McCarthy was on a team like the Giants, I'd probably be thinking very differently of him. He would have to carry that team. I don't think he has to do much with the Vikings. If he gets the job, great. If he doesn't, I don't know. I'm not as critical on JJ McCarthy as like others are.
I think you say that the Vikings are this furnished apartment, and I think they have really nice windows. The
They have
windows
very
look
good
great.
pieces.
The view is phenomenal. I think the view is great. And they have a lot of great things, but you still need to buy a TV. Your sink sometimes clogs because your
Hmm.
defense is gone for the most part. Harrison Smith isn't getting any younger. They have a lot of holes they still have to fill in this team. And their offensive line isn't perfect, and their receivers outside of the best receiver in football, Justin Jefferson, not perfect. They have a lot of money tied up into him. And you also have, you don't know which side you should put the recycle and the trash can on because you got Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy. I'm not calling them trash, but maybe we'll find out if they are.
No, you never know.
I think they're both. I mean, I'm not a JJ McCarthy supporter. I think Sam Darnold should win the job because
Right.
experience, and I also am just personally, I don't care. Again, I don't care how good you are, unless if you're going to walk into the league as a top 15 quarterback, top 20 quarterback, which I think Caleb Williams will, and he should start week 1. I think you should be sitting for a good while to get adjusted to the NFL. I mean, you look at every quarterback that sat and had time to sit and develop. Let them do it. If you have to throw Sam Darnold out to the Wolves, throw Sam Darnold out to the Wolves. Whatever you got to do, because JJ McCarthy's your young prospect. You spent the draft pick on him. You just picked up Sam Darnold. You can throw him out to the Wolves if you need to, but it's the same idea. I think the Vikings will be all right. I don't think they're going to win the NFC North for a very long time because you got 3 teams who are very set up for the future. And the Vikings, I don't see it as much as I do. Maybe you do, or some other people do. I'm not high on Minnesota, and I'm just higher on most other teams in the NFC North, Joel.
I will say that the NFC North is probably going to be one of the most competitive divisions in all of football.
And I think the Vikings kind of get kicked out the rear door. They get the bottom rung.
I mean, all 4 of those teams have high potential. All 4 of those teams.
But 3 of them have realized it. At least 2 of them have, and I think the third one being Chicago, they will soon. That was interesting to me. We'll see. We will definitely see. I mean, at a camp, those teams are gonna. We'll see what they do. I think again, like you said, it's gonna be that's like the new NFC West for me. How all those teams were
Probably,
just good.
yeah.
But you know who the Vikings are about to be? The Cardinals. They might have a good year here and there, but they're going to fall off the wayside. They don't have the pieces. They don't have a lot of guys locked up. They need to. They're stuck with a receiver. So we'll see. Denver, however. What do you consider Denver? The Jarrett Stidham, Bo Nix battle
That's
that looks
one,
like
one of the QB battles of all time.
one
Certainly.
of them. Very much one of them. And it looks like Bo Nix is going to win that job.
Yeah,
Bo
pretty
Nix
favorably.
is a 24-year-old rookie quarterback coming out of the University of Oregon/Auburn. And he has experience. He looks like he's going to be solid from day one. He kind of suffers the same. I mean, he does about the same things that JJ McCarthy does. I think he's a bit more accurate of a passer, and I like his arm better. I think JJ's just taller and a better runner, just by a little bit. Depends what you think of Bo Nix's mobility. I like him a lot when it comes to his skill set, but I don't know in terms of his development. I haven't seen, since the Auburn days, I haven't seen him take that huge jump every single year. He took a little bit of a jump at Oregon. He played great. He was accurate with the football. He had a great team around him, obviously. But I have, in terms of just what he does on the football field, I didn't see a huge jump from 2021 to 24. So we'll see how the NFL adjusts to him. I don't know. I kind of am not as high on him. I probably have him above JJ McCarthy in my opinion, but Denver.
The only thing that I look at when I look at the quarterback battle of the Denver Broncos is Sean Payton comparing Bo Nix to what he saw in Drew Brees.
Enough.
I mean, it's funny, but I mean, I like the appreciation for hyping up your young quarterback, but Zach Wilson is performing on par with him in this training camp. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I forgot Zach was there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Zach's there and he's balling out. He's actually doing okay over there.
Oh gosh.
So that's
Zach
why I'm
Wilson. Jarrett
I'm looking at this
bonus.
and I'm like, I'm just saying, Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson is able to compete for the starting job, I don't know how good this team is gonna be. I don't know how good this team is gonna be.
Did you just put Broncos and good in the same sentence this year?
It's not gonna be, yeah. Wait, when we're talking about the teams that are gonna be like bad, where it's like I think competing for a top 3 pick, I wouldn't be surprised if you put the Broncos up there. I really wouldn't. They would be up there.
They're weird because they have good pieces on defense, and having good pieces on defense, you can make things happen. They lost,
right,
but you can win a few games. Like they might win 4 or 5 games, whatever. But they just don't have a lot of talent anywhere else. It is tough.
It's especially tough when, let's say you're mid or you won 7 games or something like that, and basically everybody around you got somewhat better.
Yeah.
than you. That's a problem.
And
And
your
you just
reward for your bad season, to be straight up, your reward was Bo Nix.
which like let's be real, if all these teams weren't as quarterback desperate as they were this year, Bo Nix probably would have been a third round pick. Like
Right.
he
A
probably
late
would have been a
second,
third
third
round
round
pick.
pick. In most drafts, that's what he is.
Yeah.
But this was just a quarterback hungry year. I agree. Denver's not going to have a good year. We all know that. Denver Bronco fans know that, and it's just what it is. You just kind of hope you hit on your draft picks. Maybe Troy Franklin will improve in camp. Who knows?
When,
The
when you
duo.
talk about when you talk about like the desperation of quarterbacks too, you could basically see that from the new contracts that we're seeing now.
Yeah, yeah. Just real before we get into that, you mentioned Drake May and Jacoby
Yes.
Brissett. So you say Jacoby Brissett's going to win that job?
I think he's gonna get the job for at least the first week.
Yeah, the first couple weeks. I think Drake May's a
Yeah.
guy that needs to develop.
Yeah, you
I like Drake May more than the two quarterbacks I mentioned already, and JJ McCarthy and Bo Nix. But I think Drake May needs more time to sit than the other two, if that makes any sense. I think he'll
right.
develop a lot better than those guys, and he's got more talent just everywhere around him when it comes to his own ability. Maybe not in New England as much. But they added some good pieces. They're not doing too bad when it comes to their offseason. But Drake May's super talented. I got him as QB3. I like Jada Daniels a lot. And that's kind of what I got about Drake May.
It's not even like Drake May that I'm worried about. It's just the Patriots as a whole
Right.
that I'm worried about. First of all, we're moving away from Bill Belichick, okay? The greatest head coach ever. Let's be real. He's great.
The 85 Corvette. The 85 Corvette has finally been taken to the junkyard.
And now we got Coach Mayo here who, listen, like, we haven't seen much of him. We haven't really seen much of him, but I'm just saying, I don't know how this team's going to look. I really don't. And
I don't know.
they view Drake May as highly as they do, which, we'll see how he performs. But I'm seeing people comparing him to what Mac Jones was. And I don't know exactly how he's going to be somewhat of a savior here when he's throwing to guys like, Kendrick Bourne and Demario Douglas. And I'm not trying to hate on their names. I'm just saying when you look at their wide receiver room as a whole compared to everyone else in the NFL, they're towards the bottom. They are towards the bottom. I'm not trying to say they're bad. I'm just saying they're not as talented as other wide receiver cores. And when you don't have that much help for your rookie quarterback, you saw what just happened to Bryce Young last year. Everyone we viewed it as, oh my God, he's going to be the savior for the Panthers. Hasn't really done much. He struggled like crazy last year. And they ended up, basically getting the number one pick again, which, they didn't get it, sad. Right. But I view a very similar scenario with the Patriots. I like Drake May. I think I would have liked him had the Giants had traded up for him. I think I would be talking about him much differently because I'm a little biased, but I look at the help around him. I don't see how there's going to be much success for him, at least this year. I just don't see it.
I don't see it either. I think that, again, that's why I like having quarterbacks sit and just wait. Let Jacoby Brissett. I'm fine even if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm fine if Jacoby Brissett plays basically the entire season.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I really wouldn't.
I would really wouldn't. If I'm a Pats fan, I would prefer that because Jacoby can hold it down. You're not going to win a lot of games anyway. I mean, I respect Jacoby Brissett as a quarterback, but it's the roster's the roster. We have to, like you mentioned, we kind of just have to put that out there. But again, Drake May needs time to develop. If you throw him out to the Wolves, you're going to be drafting a quarterback again in 2 years. So I like what the Patriots seem to be doing. It just depends on how they're going to handle it and see if Mayo can really put this sandwich together. I'll be here all night. Anyway, we're moving on to the quarterback extensions that you like to mention. The big ones being Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa. And personally,
show me the money.
Show us the money. I'll get into my opinion because it seems like, Joel, you have a strong opinion about these quarterback contracts, unless if I'm mistaken. But Jordan Love, again, a 4-year $220 on his contract, and Tua with a 4-year $212. So Jordan Love waited for Tua to sign his contract before he signed his, although Tua gets the advantage of no state income tax in the state of Florida. So shout out to him. These two quarterbacks got paid. Tua and Jordan Love, really, if you asked us 2 years ago, if both of these quarterbacks would be getting extensions, we were wondering, one, about the health of Tua back a while ago, and it's great that he's back healthy and he's been great and he's played well. And that injury concern that we've had isn't really there anymore, which is great to see because it was scary at that time. And Jordan Love, when you talk about training camp, people were saying Jordan Love stinks. Jordan Love is playing awfully in camp. And now both these quarterbacks get extensions, Joel. I mean, let's start with whoever you want to start with. I will let you take the reins on this one.
All right. I mean, when we're talking about running backs not getting paid and we're wondering where that money is going, look no further than the quarterbacks.
Big
Okay.
time.
That's all I'm saying. Just look no further where you think your money is going, because I understand. I mean, I made this argument back when, I know now it's kind of stupid to say this, but like back when Daniel Jones got his extension and we were like, what? I don't understand. I made the point, listen, you overpay for a guy that you think is your guy. You overpay for it. That's what you do.
Right.
And look no further than Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff. I mean, I like these players. I think they're good quarterbacks. Would you consider any of them even like top 3, top 5? I really wouldn't. I really would not do that. Lamar is now a 2-time MVP, and he's not the highest paid quarterback in the league. Patrick Mahomes is a 3-time Super Bowl champion, multiple-time MVP. He's not. He's out. He's actually outside the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the league right now.
Right.
I would have handled this contract a month or two ago, seeing all these guys getting paid. I'm saying, you know what? No, Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be on par with Brady level status of, he's already a Hall of Famer. I mean, it's crazy to not think that. So I look at a lot of these young guys and seeing like how the league is really developed, of how it sooner than you realize quarterbacks are going to start making like 80 million a year, or like close. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's coming.
I look at these quarterbacks right now and I'm seeing $55 million a year for Jordan Love after one season. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying that he's not good. I'm just saying I don't understand how you could do that for a guy after one season. If that was the case, then I don't understand how Stroud doesn't have his money already after one season. I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense to me.
So here's my question then. Obviously, CJ Stroud has plenty left in his rookie deal, so you can't sign that contract yet. Or it just doesn't make any sense. Also, saying Stroud would want to wait for that money.
But you see what I'm saying though, because like I'm looking at like the projection of what they think Stroud is going to be. It's like, okay, I'm looking at this now. You're looking at guys like, I mean, I'm just looking down the list here, looking at Joe Burrow. He got his money and, he went to a Super Bowl. I get it. Jared Goff, 1 game away from Super Bowl. I understand that. Tua, I don't even know. Like, no, I'm not trying to hate on Tua here, but that man wasn't anything before Tyreek Hill got there. And all of a sudden he's going to be one of the highest paid QBs in the league. I feel like the Dolphins were just so desperate to even have a capable quarterback that they just didn't want to go look for one. So they overpaid for someone who they think could be that guy, and he's really not. I'm not trying to hate on Tua here. I'm just saying when you put him in the top 3 highest paid quarterbacks in the league, that is kind of crazy to me.
So what's your solution? What would you rather have done?
Give this money to someone that deserves it, the one that's helping you out here, Tyreek Hill. I think he should get more.
Who's already getting paid? He's already got a contract.
He's looking for an extension.
He said he's going to retire. He said he's going to get an extension. At the end, it's not like you're just going to tag the extra $20 million you'd save and give it to Tyreek. The receiver market's the receiver market. The QB market's the QB market.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel like we're overpaying for average here. That's what I think we're doing.
Average.
I'm not saying no. I'm talking about Tua.
We've seen Tua. Tua is a great quarterback. If you get a top 15 quarterback, which I think Tua is, and I think Trevor Lawrence is, I think Jordan Love is, they're up there. And obviously they're young. Tua is 26, Jordan Love's 25. You have to sign these guys.
Trevor Lawrence is on my dynasty team. Believe me, that man is
24
average.
years old. He's 24. What was Tom Brady at 24? I mean, obviously, they was younger winning the Super Bowl, but in terms of just regular season performances, we're talking about that. Also, any 24-year-old quarterbacks that we've seen, not named Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and all that, they get paid. They do what they do. So Joe Burrow shouldn't have gotten paid when he got paid. Well, now you're saving a discount of that contract. These contracts will be outside of that top 10, like you mentioned, because we talk about highest paid quarterback, highest paid receiver, highest paid this. Whoever signs the next contract becomes the highest paid. That's just how inflation and the U.S. economy and the receiver market and every market here works. The dollars are just going to keep going up and going up and going up. That's just the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the NFL as they continue to make more money. It's a growing business. It's what happens. And especially with the youth and especially with how long they've been in this system, you have to sign these guys. If the Dolphins are in the Dolphins, right? It makes no sense for them to not sign this contract. There's no good scenario that comes out of them not signing this contract because they have a roster built to win now. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl, but to take all the time to build a roster to win right now, to give yourself a chance to win a Super Bowl over the next 4 years, and you have a stable quarterback. Sure, he's not Mahomes. Sure, he's not a top 10 QB. Sure, he's not top 8. He's not top 3 like his salary would suggest, let's say. But you have no other choice if you're any of these teams. So sure, get your money. But they have to sign these contracts. It's beneficial to sign these contracts because they have to win now.
I can already see a scenario. Okay. I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying, like, in general, I could already see a scenario when we're looking at a Miami Dolphins game and we see Tua play poorly. Just one game. That's all it takes. Just to play poorly. You paid $53 million for that performance when you could have had, I don't know. You look at Mahomes that's getting 46, I believe, or 45.
Over 10.
Over 10. I just think that's absolutely insane. And now I understand what you're saying with inflation and all. I'm just saying this money, we got guys on your own team that are complaining about not getting paid. It should go to them. The guys who want to get paid. I mean, I understand everybody wants to get paid, obviously. But, like, I do think that there's a fine line between getting your money and also, like, what do you actually deserve here? What percentage do you actually deserve of that money?
But the alternative is they walk and you don't have a quarterback.
You draft a new quarterback.
And then you're stuck in quarterback purgatory for the next decade.
Tom Brady never did that, and he's won 7 Super Bowls.
And how many teams have drafted their Tom Brady? How long the Cleveland Browns took? As much as we kind of maybe regret the Deshaun Watson decision when you look at Cleveland.
That was insane. I'm not going to lie.
And that was just too much.
It's funny because I haven't even brought that up, but the Watson contract is absolutely insane.
So if you wanted an example of a quarterback getting his money gone wrong, sure, you look at that. I mean, we haven't seen him really play a full healthy season, and the Browns still have that situation. But would you rather have the Browns have Deshaun Watson or Nick Mullins? That's what they're destined. That's what these teams would be destined for. The Green Bay Packers, let's say. The Packers drafted Jordan Love. They spent a first-round pick on the guy. He took them to the NFC Championship game. A lot of it being off of what he does and his ability and his throwing ability and his mobility. All of that. See, I'm not the biggest Brock Purdy fan, but you still pay the guy.
I would pay Brock Purdy only because for someone like Brock Purdy, I'm paying for results here. I want to, Brock Purdy.
Jordan gave you results. Tua's taking you to the playoffs every year.
He beat the Cowboys. Wait, Jordan Love?
Jordan Love went to the NFC Championship game. Or the NFC Divisional Round game.
Yeah, the divisional
playoff game. And he played well. They almost beat the Niners.
All I'm saying is Brock Purdy beat him. That's why I say Brock Purdy should get paid more.
Sure, pay him more. Pay him an extra $2 million. Whatever you want to do.
I'm looking at the results here. Like, Lamar has 2 MVPs. I think he should be in the top 3 highest paid.
Joe Burrow's contract when he did. It's all about timing.
Like Patrick Mahomes, I'm like, well, we got to restructure this then.
If there were restructure for an extra $10 million every time that a quarterback signs a new contract, those teams would be in salary cap hell constantly. It's just the way it worked. Also, with length matters on the contract. These are 4-year contracts, so you put more money in it. Mahomes is getting paid $45 million because he's guaranteed that money over 10 years. That's a decade of life. And
he's getting a lot of money.
These guys, Mahomes, yes, he's getting paid $450 million. He's getting paid him $500 million. $500 million. Yeah. So I think his contract is I think he's fine with his contract.
I'm
okay with his contract.
I'm looking at a lot of the guys that are now considered the highest paid QBs.
Right.
And when you look at like their stats, I understand, Jordan Love over 4,000 yards. 30, I get the stats. But I look at guys like Trevor Lawrence. I can't say he can send me to a Super Bowl. I haven't seen anything remotely close to that. I haven't, Jordan Love. I saw him beat the Cowboys. I saw Dak Prescott play poorly in the first half. Could that have played a factor? Sure. I saw him throw the ball a million times. They beat the Cowboys. Great. I don't think that should solidify. Oh yeah, now you must be the highest paid QB in the league. Tua, I don't know what he's done to give the Dolphins any sort of success. So I don't understand why he's getting paid the highest. I know I'm going in circles here. All I'm saying is, for someone like Purdy, Mahomes, Lamar, I want results when I make you the highest paid QB in the league. That's why I think they should be the highest paid.
So the only quarterbacks that should get paid are the two quarterbacks that make the Super Bowl, and the other two quarterbacks make the
Well, not
championship.
only two quarterbacks make the Super Bowl. Every year it's usually someone different for the most part, unless you face the Chiefs
Look
or
at
close to
Mahomes.
it. I'm saying
Lamar's never made a Super Bowl, so he shouldn't get paid. They shouldn't have paid him.
he's won two MVPs.
They shouldn't have paid him.
He's won two MVPs. He's been the best player on that team. He should absolutely be paid.
That's not results. That's not winning.
Jordan Love, though, I wouldn't say I'm looking at him. I'm like, I don't think Jordan Love puts them at the point where I'm like, oh yeah, they would make the Super Bowl.
So Spencer Rattler does. Michael Pratt does.
Spencer Rattler.
That's your solution. You're saying go get another quarterback.
I'm not
That's the other
top
solution.
quarterback. That Spencer
You
Rattler
don't
was
just
like
go get a top
pick.
quarterback.
He was like a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, that's what you're getting if you're the Packers.
No,
Drafting a quarterback? Yes. You saw
could
Bo Nix went 12.
Then you go trade up.
Yes, with all the assets you have. Yes, they have a lot of assets. So it's not like quarterbacks just kind of fall off trees when it comes to all of this, right? You look at the Packers, you're saying the Packers can go get another quarterback. But it's not very easy to go get another quarterback. These guys are very rare when it comes to franchise quarterbacks. It's not like he's not a franchise quarterback, Joel.
I'm not saying like you can't not find another Jordan Love. I understand Jordan Love is good. I'm not denying that he's not good or anything like that. All I am saying is when I look at how much he's getting paid right now after one season, I find that kind of crazy when there are other options. Like I'm not saying, oh, go draft a new quarterback every single time until you find the guy. I'm just saying the dude didn't play for like what 2.5 years, 3 years, something like that. Right. And he had one really good season, and now all of a sudden we're gonna make him the highest paid QB in the league. I'm just saying you can't deny that is a little crazy.
I think it's perfect. I have no issue with
it
whatsoever. It's a 4-year contract.
His agent must be in the Hall of Fame because there's no way that I could say after one season and I had a really good season and I beat the Cowboys, who everyone was saying that was going to choke all year, that you should pay me more than a 2-time MVP and a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Well, soon to be 3-time Super Bowl champion, but still, there's no at that time. But like, still, I don't understand how the Packers would look at him and say, "You're right. We should give you 55." And I'm like, that's. I feel like I'm crazy here for not wanting to give him that contract.
I'm sure the Packers would have loved to give him a little bit less money in this situation, but again, it's a short contract for quarterbacks. It's a short contract. I mean, Baker's a 3-year contract. Trevor Lawrence is a 5-year contract. He's younger. Jordan Love will be 29 by the end of this deal. Tua will be 30 by the end of his deal. And then if you want to sign that big 5-year extension into their mid-30s, go for it. But they're getting money right now. They're paying them right now. And again, if Mahomes signed his contract today, he'd be getting paid $65 million. But you lock up your quarterbacks when you can. But you have to do it at the end of the contract. It's either they walk for nothing and you don't have a quarterback next season when your plan is to try to win a Super Bowl and you get stuck in finding a quarterback, which is the hardest thing to do in the National Football League. When you feel like you have your quarterback and the Packers feel like they have their quarterback, the Dolphins feel like they have their quarterback, right? Because, sure, Jordan Love's played one season when it comes to starting all 17 games. Yes, but he's been in the organization for however long. He's been in the organization long enough to earn another contract. They've seen him play for 4 years, not on the NFL field, but they've developed him. They know him. They like Jordan Love. He is a Packer, right? So yes, I know you're not saying just go draft another quarterback, but you look at these other situations when it comes to Minnesota, when it comes to Denver. We just sat here and said that their quarterback situations are bad. We said, wow, that's a bad situation to be in. Well, if you let Jordan Love walk, no matter what you do, you're picking your only alternatives to signing these quarterbacks to these big deals are getting a Sam Darnold, are getting a Jacoby Brissett, and having a roster that's built to win today in 2024, 2025. You sign your quarterback every single time. If he wants a blank check, he gets a blank check. You even found a win here by making it a 4-year deal. It's a great deal for these franchises. They're going to make the money back by having the quarterbacks anyway and winning and making the playoffs. If you get in the playoffs, you have a chance to win a Super Bowl. You're a Giants fan. You know that. It's how this works.
I like I said, I do understand what you're saying. And yes, I understand if you believe that you have your guy, you should pay him. I do understand that. It's just I don't want to even say like it's about like giving him the extension. It's just making him the highest paid at this time. I think that's a little crazy.
He won't be the highest paid next year. He'll
Probably not.
sign another contract.
Absolutely no, absolutely. You're right about that. You are right about that. There's a good chance that there's going to be somebody else that's going to get another extension. I'm just saying the price of inflation overall, it's the fact of how much it's rising is absurd to me. It's just absurd.
So this is more so a commentary on the U.S. economy.
Well, yeah, it's insane.
Than it is about.
It's insane. Come on, it's insane. It's insane.
I mean, yes, we all know that. We all buy eggs. We all buy eggs. We understand, but I mean, you look at how much
gas should not be this high. I'm sorry.
Not high enough. Not high enough. Valero will be the highest revenue company next time. It'll it just all finds a way to work out. But again, I mean, look at some of the old. I mean, look at how much NBA players are getting paid. All right, Victor Wembanyama is going to make $80 million a year when his contract comes up.
Hey, hold on. Look at Brunson. Look what he did. Okay. $113 million pay cut.
Sure.
Because he cares about winning.
He does care about winning. He absolutely cares about winning. He took less money, right? He's one of how many other guys that have done that?
Should be more of.
I agree with you. It should be more. I 100% sit here and agree with you. But again, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You got to re-sign your guy. Jalen Brunson, again, is a weird. I found that strange.
How did you feel about that contract, actually?
I mean, I was just surprised that he decided to. I mean, but the thing is, he's going to be able to get another extension next time around. He's actually smart. That decision is going to make him more money if he keeps playing well.
Probably,
because if he can sign a supermax for his next contract, because it's a shorter contract as well, he'll be able to sign a contract when the new CBA comes out. And if the Knicks want to keep him, they got to pay him $80 million.
I could be wrong on this, but I believe this contract with the contract extension now, I believe it ends in 2029.
Okay.
Which at that point,
assuming the new CBA is in by then.
So by that point, I think Jalen Brunson would be like 32, 31, 32.
If he's 31, you can still sign a 5-year deal at that age.
And he would, absolutely. He would still get a 5-year deal.
Absolutely. Especially with the way he plays the game. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be absolutely fine. He'll make a ton of money. Even then, a supermax might, whatever's not a supermax, he might be making more money on just a regular contract.
Don't say he doesn't want to be in New York. That's all I'm freaking saying.
I don't know who said that.
No, because I'm saying like I've seen people be like, like, oh well, I don't know what's gonna happen with it. It's like, no, don't tell me he doesn't want to be in New York. This dude's good. I think this is one of the few guys I can honestly say he's gonna retire with this team. Probably. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, I mean, Patrick Ewing didn't retire with the Knicks, so
that
didn't do it.
That was crazy, but yeah.
Anyway, but just to kind of wrap up our when it comes to those quarterbacks, I will say if I was playing Madden, I'm probably like let's say I'm playing Madden as a GM. I may not sign these quarterbacks, but that's because I can find a quarterback a lot easier in Madden than I can in the National Football League.
Yeah,
it's just
the trailer dropped today, by the way.
The amount of care that I have for the Madden 25 trailer, it's whatever 1 minus 1 is.
I know it's fine. I know you've been playing college football 25. Me too.
College football 25 all day.
UConn, baby.
My guys don't make any money. UConn, you got UConn?
I got UConn.
Colorado State, new head coach of Colorado State, John McCooch over here. So I guess we just agree to disagree, Joel.
Agree to disagree.
I mean, I'm fine keeping my quarterback, who I think is a top 10 quarterback in this league, Jordan Love. Tua's Tua. But
Tua's Tua, man.
He's in the offense. McDaniel likes him, and it's 4 years.
A lot of guys trying to get paid this year.
And they did get paid. 4 years go by quick, Joel. 4 years go by quick. You got to remember that. You got to remember that. It's not a 10-year deal. If it was if they signed Jordan Love and Tua to a 10-year deal, I'd be right there with you.
We'll see how it works out for the Packers.
I think they'll win a Super Bowl. How about that? I'll say it. Wow. In the next 4 years, they'll win a Super Bowl. And how about in the third? How about in 2 years? They got a good roster, great receiving core. They're building a better defense as well. Offensive line's improving, and they're actually drafting Jordan Love receivers, unlike Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, Dontavian Wicks and Jaron Reed, they're some dogs.
Shout out Bo Melton.
Bo Melton, Rutgers legend.
RU's going to have a great draft next time. Or
Yeah.
Kyle Monungai is going to get drafted pretty well.
Yeah.
Get drafted pretty well as well. Shout out Kyle Monungai. And that's I don't know him because of College Football 25. I actually know who Kyle Monungai is. Okay, Chop. All right,
Stop.
we know those players. Shout out Chop. No, I've seen him play. He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
Joel, any final points about our contracts, quarterbacks, running backs, anywhere?
Go get your money, I guess. But
Go get your money and go give your money.
Yeah, go. Yeah, jeez.
If my decision is a quarterback or a running back, I'm taking the quarterback every time, unless his name is Daniel Jones and the Giants decided to take.
That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing, man.
Yeah, the Giants don't count in this discussion.
I'm just waiting for Carson Beck. That's all.
If you're waiting for Carson Beck and you think he's your savior, you got a long time coming for your next quarterback. I
Maybe
like
like
him. I don't think he's that bad.
Maybe like Shador. No, I do not want Shador.
I have Quinn Ewers as the one quarterback wise by
maybe Quinn, I guess. But
I
I just
have,
don't.
I have Quinn by a very good margin.
I don't think Quinn's gonna be like in the Giants' radar at all, because I don't think the Giants are gonna be as bad as to get like the number 1 pick. I don't think they are.
Right. I think Quinn. Right. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
I don't think
just
they're
kind of previewing that discussion for a year from now. I think Quinn's going to be the one by a good margin. I don't think it's going to be close because I think his team's going to win a national championship.
Oh yeah,
so I made 2 predictions. Title. So I guess that's McCarthy. 2 predictions for me. I have Texas winning the Natty next year, and I have the Packers winning one in 2 years. I am digging a grave here, and I continue.
You got the. It's almost like the Jets won last year.
I actually looked back. I said Dalvin Cook would win you a Super Bowl, and then Aaron Rodgers decided that, I have to forgive myself for those moments. I have to forgive myself for those comments. I look back at a video, old Break Panel Sports, the old school. I believe tomorrow is actually the 1-year anniversary of Break Panel.
No
Sports.
way.
Beginning of August was the 1 year of Break Panel Sports.
Oh, let's go.
So shout out to Break Panel Sports, 1 year in the making.
Let's go. All right.
There we go, Joel. I said Dalvin Cook, the Jets just won the Super Bowl. I was trying to clickbait. Absolutely. We all do what we got to do.
Hey, man.
It's okay.
We all genuinely thought it. It's okay.
No, we didn't. We really didn't.
Yeah, I really.
I say things I don't actually think all the time. It's okay.
It's okay.
But that'll do it for this episode of Break Panel Sports. We've been rambling as well. It's always fun, though. Joel, thank you for coming on the show as always, even though you were the one that said we got to do an episode. So here we are.
Well, we did.
We did. It's all together. We're all in this together. That'll do it for this episode of Break Panel Sports. We have some fun. We have some debates. Joel, we finally disagreed. I'm proud of you.
It's always fun.
It's always fun. We will see you, though, another time. Take care.
Later.